When I joined university, in my first year, I had a roommate. That roommate of mine was a girl, a young girl like me, and she was also joining university for the first time. She had a boyfriend, but she's bisexual, and she wanted a girl to be part of this so that she doesn't have to be sleeping around. So they brought in a second girl. Along the way, the second girl got pregnant, and as much as it was supposed to be consensual, that whenever they're having sex, it's got to be the three of them there and not just two. Somehow, somewhere, the second girl and the boyfriend must have had sex a couple of times off and were probably now gauging towards having a relationship, but that was basically the whole concept around it. She could not keep the pregnancy. She couldn't tell her friends about it because how do you open up to people that you've been in a triple? So she ended up getting options, different options. There's keeping the pregnancy and then there's terminating it. There's no way she could keep it because one, she will have to drop out of school for some time, and two, she's not sure whether her family will take her in or not. The third point is the boy is not willing to take on a baby, especially from a girl who was not officially his girlfriend or who they had not planned with to have a family, and they were all at campus. And now here comes the problem. The girl that initially brought her into the relationship is not willing to even listen to her at all. The boy does not want to have anything to do with it because he does not want to upset his girlfriend. So she's left alone and different options come up. So she opted to have an abortion. So she managed to get someone who hooked her up to a guy who took her to, can I call it a chidula? Or just a funny place, and he did it on her. Unfortunately, she bled for a very long time, days, a whole week. She was just bleeding properly. So she was taken to a hospital. And to cut the long story short, she lost her uterus. But anyway, she cannot have kids anymore. That was the only way to save her. They had to take it out. I used to use over-the-counter contraceptives until sometime last year when I opted for an IUD because that is more sufficient. Sometimes you're drunk, you're somewhere, or maybe you get raped, or there's so many situations. Sometimes the condom is just not there. So.
This is Sandra. Sandra lives in Kampala. She is 18 years old and she and her boyfriend Robert have been sexually active since they began dating this year. Sandra and Robert are still in school and not ready to start a family. Sandra worries about becoming pregnant, but like many women her age, she's not currently using contraception.
Every time Sandra tried to get contraceptives at local healthcare facilities, they were out of stock. She visited several other facilities,
but found they either did not have her preferred methods available or did not offer contraceptive services at all. After several attempts, she gave up and is now at high risk for an unintended pregnancy. But through the use of technology, young people like Sandra and Robert could gain better access to contraception. Using Google Maps, young people can see what contraceptive methods local facilities have in stock and the sexual and reproductive health services they offer. If Sandra could access such a map, it would be easier for her to locate what she needs to prevent an unwanted pregnancy. And with just a few clicks, Sandra could share that information with her friends on social media. With access to real-time information about supplies and services, young people are more likely to access available methods and reduce their chances for unintended pregnancy. Healthcare facilities will also be better able to keep methods that are in high demand in stock, and that's very good news. for Sandra, Robert, and other youth who seek healthy lives and to protect their future. To help increase contraceptives access and availability for young people in Kawempe Division, policymakers should encourage public and
private facilities to provide up-to-date
information about the contraceptive methods they have in
stock and the sexual and reproductive health services they offer, including through
social media. Ensure public health facilities offer a full range of contraceptive methods. Provide more money to procure contraceptive methods at public health facilities to avoid stockouts. This is Sandra. Sandra avoids an
unintended pregnancy by using a Google map. Let's help other Ugandan youth be more like Sandra.
Well, this might be a controversial topic, especially in the African setting, but we wouldn't be doing ourselves any favors if we decided to shun it. Why? Because it happens to be the reality of a significant portion of the youth. How then can we prevent our generation from succumbing to some of the things depicted in this story? In this very room, we are privileged to be having one of these controversial conversations on the access to and use of contraceptives. We shall be hosting a sexual reproductive health worker, a parent, youth, and the innovators of the contraceptive Google Map. With me, Nelson Ruto, and your moderator for the day, Marion Apio.
As a young person, contraceptives to me are these different forms of methods that we can use to prevent ourselves from getting pregnant. Say I'm a girl, that is what I'd run to prevent myself from getting pregnant if I am sexually active. That is what contraceptive use is to me.
Contraceptives are those methods or drugs that we use to prevent the unwanted pregnancies. Yes, those unplanned for. In other times, you can go in and you're really not prepared maybe to give birth. Yeah, so they are in there to help you out.
So in case you've just had a sexual experience and you're not ready for being a parent, I think these are the means we use. For example, condoms, vasectomy, which is not really liked by many, but yeah, those are means basically for not getting pregnant and having babies who we're not prepared for.
With youths, we've got a several number of contraceptives. We've got the hormones, those are the ones with some medicines in them. And we have the natural ones that are minus medicine. The youths don't like to use condoms.
I'm worried if my son is having sex, you know? I'm like, oh my goodness.
Do you say if I took morning after pill every other morning I had sex?
For the love of God, can't we really try as parents?
Nothing would happen to this beautiful body of mine.
It's okay.
The youth don't like to use condoms. They want to use methods that are really allowing them to be free with their partners. So we cancel them. However, there are those contraceptives with hormones that are also friendly, that have low levels of hormones that are friendly, such that when a girl is off, then she can take a short time to conceive. Contraceptives like the implants, they are very good to them. Those ones, they are the only ones we want these youths to use. However, the other ones can also use, but these ones are very good. The implants and the oral contraceptives. I mean these ones which the pills commonly known with the pills. The IUD is the best because they remain as they are. A small girl will remain as a small girl, a fat one will remain as a fat one, and she will get like her usual periods, and it doesn't interfere a lot with her mechanism of her body. So the IUD, we always advocate an IUD for them. So we really take history about that particular youth and know how is it? Have you had a baby? How are your menstrual flow? Supposing this youth is a girl. So we go into all that details and we counsel all about intercourse with a girl. If the girl is a school girl and she has never given birth to any child, we as health workers mostly take through this girl through methods of hormonal methods. Because the girls are always at school and the hormones in the contraceptives tend to disturb them at school. So we bring in front of them condoms, like IUDs, like those long-term methods, because these youths are not married, most of them are not married, and they need a very long-term family planning method. So we always prefer them using non-hormonal contraceptives like the condoms. Another thing about contraceptives is like people are getting their sex in a happy way. The lady is not worried of unwanted pregnancy and the man is sure her lady is protected, and you know men fear children more than ladies who carry pregnancies. And then he will ask you, are you safe? Are we safe? But when the man is sure this lady is on a contraceptive, they will have an enjoyable sexual intercourse, no worries, no words. Okay?
Personally, I do not have those conversations with my parents, but I've had them with my auntie. My auntie often, chips in, talks to me, or say I go to see her at her place and she'll be like, Cynthia, there's this family planning, don't go around with boys, that kind of conversation. We always have it. But I have my friends from school and some that I've worked with here and there. And to be honest, sex is literally a taboo in families to talk as a topic. It's like a taboo. You can't start saying, oh, mommy, now I want to talk about this and that and that. Most of our parents are conservative. And I'm very, very happy to say that there's at least a parent here who's open to it and talks to her kids to it, because I've been at school with people and the first time they hear about these things are through peers. And what can a peer tell you really? You're the same age, you know the same things. They can't really know everything. Sometimes you need your parents to be the one to tell you that. So for me, it's not a conversation that you can have at home, but my auntie has often brought it up here and there. Yes.
And speaking of contraceptives for young people, are we speaking family planning? Are we speaking pills?
Family planning and contraceptives, it may not mean the same. In a way that one can plan a family by abstaining. She or he does not necessarily mean will use a contraceptive to do what? To plan a family. She can be there on natural methods, counting her days. It's natural and you're not using any contraceptive. So you're planning your family that way. You may be there using non-hormonal methods like condoms. They are not contraceptives, those ones. However, they help you to prevent you from getting unnecessary pregnancies. So, to me, it doesn't mean the same. Family planning and contraceptives are two different things.
I'd like to hear from the parent. What is your opinion about young people using contraceptives?
Thank you for the opportunity. Basically, as a parent, I'm a mother of two girls, and I'm mothering girls, to be specific. One who is going in her teens. Personally, I'm not passionate about family planning, really, as a parent, because I'm worried. I'm like, when they walk into a facility center, do they take them through about the particular, besides looking at the money issue, as in, are they looking at this girl's health? We are looking at it at a healthy point of view. as in my child, assuming she's in like senior 4 or senior 6, because a child is going to be a child to a parent, even a university child, like he said. I mean, I'm worried if my son is having sex, you know? I'm like, oh my goodness, you know? So as a parent, I'm not really comfortable with the family planning methods. And honestly speaking, I've tried to talk to my girls about sex, because I wouldn't want anybody else to talk about sex with them before me. So the family planning bit, we have not gone there yet, really.
Yes.
We have not, because I feel it's too early, but there is going to come a time where I'm going to sit and I have to alert them about the consequences of family planning.
So when it comes to our country, Uganda, the law, in terms of parental or spousal consent, the law exists and supports youth access to FP services, that's contraceptive services, without consent from any of the parties, whether parent or a spouse. They allow. Why they reached that point is because they used to also, as them as policy makers, they used to have a limitation. They're like, no, this age don't allow, but they realized, you know what, people are having sex, teenage pregnancies are on the increase. So if this young girl or young man approaches a health facility and they actually say, I am sexually active, whether the child is 13, if they are sexually active and they want to find a way to avoid pregnancy, then the health worker, the law supports the health worker to be able to provide these services. So in terms of, yes, there is the moral of, oh, you're such a young person, why are you having sex? But we are past that. We are actually, like one of the Ministry of Health officials likes to say, we are burying our heads in the sand. Every time we are in these meetings, it's just burying yourself, saying, no, don't allow. Young people abstain. It's not going to happen.
I'll start from Edgar's point.
Yes.
First of all, he said, as young people, we should be able to, say Cynthia, I should be able to go and access contraceptives. You know why? People haven't talked about abortion. Abortions are high. High. Both safe and unsafe. They are high. Oh my God. As someone at campus, as a girl at campus, I think every girl at campus knows someone or a couple of people that have had abortions. So I'm not trying to disagree with you. You're right on all your points, but I think it roots from families. Parents are not friends with their kids. You just have the relationship of, I'm a child, this is mom, this is dad, end of story. But you're not invested. I've seen it with a lot of my friends at campus. You notice that someone who is friends with a parent and can tell the parent anything, and these are very few, they don't even make 40% of young people. Very, very few that can go to the parent and be like, you know what, mom, there's this guy, I think I want to sleep with him, blah, blah, blah. There is very, very few girls that can do that. So you're left with just your friend to talk to. And you know what your friend is going to tell you? Your friend is going to tell you, it depends on what you want to do. What do you want? And you know you already came with the mindset of, I really want to have sex with him. And you go and do it. Whether your parent told you abstinence, whether your partner told you abstinence, whether your pastor told you to abstain, whether you read it in the Bible. And we grow up with these things. Because there's a lot of posters in schools where we are abstinence is safe, the key to success is right. We grow up with them, we see them. I remember in school we used to have counseling sessions every Saturday. But most of my friends were having sex. That's high school. And then because you're locked up for 3 months, that's a boarding school, and you have these sessions with the counselors and they're telling you to abstain from sex, or if you have sex, use a condom or what, every Saturday. But your friends are having sex constantly. So I don't think the narrative.
And you're wondering what is wrong with you.
Yes, and then you start wondering, no, me, what's wrong? By the way, virginity among young people is a shame. A lot of young people are ashamed to stand up and be like, I'm a virgin. Because everyone is going to turn and be like, what? Why? What do you want from life? What are you doing like that?
Because when you look at the statistics of Uganda, I think in the quarantine time, over 1,000 girls got pregnant, and we're talking about young high school girls. The problem that we've had, people are demonized contraceptions. Like when you go to a facility or a pharmacy to get yourself a condom, they'll look at you like, hey, you guy, what are you going to do? You know, okay, there is a way, there's something they build about contraceptives that it's so wrong to have sex, yet we are humans and we are in that age where we really want to do that, to endeavor and get to know about those things. But what I'm saying is that we should at least find a way of making this okay. It's okay for a girl to go and buy a condom. Because at the end of the day, if they don't go to that health facility, they will be the one who face the wrath of the unwanted pregnancies. That's when you will see girls dropping out of school, actually in the practice already.
But
so
then
they're not going to find the solution.
Then you're not giving us a way as parents to talk to our children about abstinence, because there are those people there are those kids that you can still talk to about abstinence.
Yeah, there are those that are not.
And all that. I mean, we are not looking at what our Uganda is going to be in the next coming years. Because, for example, we cannot be so sure that the contraceptives are 100%. It brings some effects to the disadvantages of these contraceptives. You have heard of people, I'm very sure, who have failed to give birth, you know, because probably they started at an early age. Some have started having sex at an early age. So, for the love of God, can't we really try as parents? Can you give us the chance to talk to our children? At least abstinence is still there. You know, if I can just chip in on a godly way, on a godly side.
Yes.
In Ecclesiastes 3, there's a verse that says there is time for everything. You know?
But now you're looking.
Because like Edgar, like we are promoting
what's
sex.
on ground.
But what is the reality?
Okay, so Edgar, I want to cut you short, and I'm seeing Sandra nodding her head and appreciating
services and productive services available at the 7 health facilities. So if a 16-year-old visits our mom, it's the responsibility of the health facility.
That is what my worry was. How are you monitoring this?
So, yes. In addition to that, then our parent is worried about our children because there are contraceptives that if a child begins early, definitely it will affect in future as far as giving birth. Yes. So now what we do at the 7 health facilities is to take proper history of the age, how old are you, because we have many. By the way, this platform has done a lot. Our clinics are full. You start home and people call you. Oh, we've seen your number on the platform. Where do you work? I tell them, you work at Komam. Do you have family planning services? Yes, we do, and you take that opportunity to tell her or him more about that health center, all the services that are there. So when she comes for family planning, like she will say, I also have a brother who is not circumcised. I'm going to bring him. So it has done a lot. A lot if that platform is funded, like you said, Bridget, I think it is going to do some good.
Well,
back to her
I would like us to focus.
She's worried. We shall ask, like I explained earlier, we ask them the age. We ask them, we are also parents, we don't just give contraceptives like that. We take them through the natural methods that I told you. We take them through like counting days. This is how we go about it. You can hide away from your boyfriend these days, but again, these ones are safe. You can run a meeting, okay? Because we have to agree, these young children play sex. They play sex too. Or what you have to accept, they play sex to our experience that goes to work. So we first of all go through the natural methods that we know will not hurt them, but again it will work for them. Yes.
Okay.
So, but these youths don't want those naturals. To your surprise. They want these ones that are permanent, like she's all the time. You know, when a girl or a boy starts sex, she's like a married woman. She wants all the time to go out with with her pattern. So she wants that one which is throughout the month. She can knit her pattern.
Okay, thank you so much. Before we switch, there is someone who has joined us, and this is a young journalist. Okay, you're welcome. So, as a young journalist, definitely, would you do a story around the use of contraceptives?
So when you say what do I think about the using contraceptives, do you mean do I think they use them?
Yes.
Totally. Why shouldn't they use them? What are options?
I think the parents are really fearing that their children are going to shy away from abstinence rather than,
I mean, abstinence is good, but the truth is not everybody will abstain. So if we're not abstaining, what are we doing?
We have sex.
Exactly, that's the whole purpose of abstinence. So, and if we're having sex, should we have it with or without contraceptives? So, like, I'm not a parent here, but if I were to be a parent, I think I would understand that my child will have sex anyway, whether I say don't have it or have it. So how am I ensuring that when they do have sex, they have safe sex as opposed to just having sex? So I think we should have contraceptives. I'm entirely no choice. So if you want contraceptives, get contraceptives, and they should be accessible.
Okay, and so would you do a story around this solution for this community?
I would love to, and I was talking about it because I do a lot of social solutions reporting, and I try to focus on responses to social problems. So it's good that when you see a problem of people access to contraceptives, it's good that someone thought about, how can we use technology to make this more accessible to people? And I would love to see the contraceptive Google scale beyond Kawempe and Kampala and even Uganda as well.
That's
it's something
Nigeria.
That can work. Love it. If you came to Nigeria, it's something that can work anywhere and get this business. Something that is important in every place. We're always on our phones. If you can even make like a USSD prompt or something, you can just dial and say if they don't have apps, someone in the village can dial and say, star 172 5 million contraceptives. That also.
Well, thank you so much, Caleb. I will be waiting for the story around the contraceptives.
Yes, and you will see it.
Okay, definitely.
So, yes.
The contraceptive Google Map is actually an online platform. It's not a mobile application, it's an online platform which someone can access using the browser. It's a link, it's all over our banners and our social media pages. When one enters that link into their browser, the map will appear. The map has 7 facilities which are under Kawempe Division. The reason we started with 7 facilities under Kawempe Division, one, we chose an area which we felt has a lot of young people, especially that Kawempe Division is the area where Makerere University is also located. 2, the people who are supporting us could only support those facilities for the start. So it has those 7 facilities. So when one sees the plus signs, hospital plus signs of those 7 facilities, if they click on any of the plus signs, the facility name will appear. But not only the facility name, you also get the services that are offered under that facility. So what we do as the team is that we update that information. We are able to give young people information on services available at each facility in real time. Why do we do this? We had a research back in 2017 supported by an organization called Population Reference Bureau and International Youth Alliance for Family Planning. And this research was done among young people, adolescents. And we were trying to find out what is their experience with contraceptive use and availability. One of the issues that came up, one is reaching a facility and the method you want is not available. So you've wasted your time, you've wasted your transport. Then of course on the facility side, they're also saying the stock ran out. That's why we don't have it. So we thought if we have this platform where a young person can know beforehand which service or method is available, then they'll be able to make a choice.
The contraceptive Google Map tries to provide data on the demand and supply side. We provide information about contraceptive access to the young people and data about how the demand is in the different health facilities to the suppliers.
Well, then that brings us to the conversation about the innovation. And we have someone who has actually used the contraceptive Google Map in this house, and she's a young person, and we just want to hear what are those benefits that you got by using the contraceptive Glucomab and those that you got probably before you used the contraceptive Glucomab.
We've got a flyer, like some people were in the university moving around, so they had given us a flyer. Yes, so we went back, tried to check out, then we found, we tried to go on the net, access the information. So we found out the nearby facilities where we can go and get more details on what we've done and everything. Yes, so we're able to move from campus, then we went and sit. When we went in, we were able to, they attended to us and we had to tell them what brought us in and explain everything how it happened. Then they had to explain to us the various contraceptives, and finally we chose one that was favorable for us.
Possibility of you are already sexually active. Would you use the contraceptive Glucomab?
Yes, I could use the contraceptive Glucomab, especially to share ideas on where people can find contraceptives easily within their location, so that they don't tend to shy away from using contraceptives because safer sex is best.
We would like the map to cover more than 7 facilities. Move out from Kawempe, expand the whole.
Okay, so what are the limitations? Why aren't we there, Bridget?
So, like I said at the beginning, this innovation, young people, we innovate, but these innovations need support. So the support that we are receiving could only facilitate us to have health facilities, 7 of them. However, with more funding, perhaps with such a platform, you guys' platform could attract more funding for us. That would be nice. So we shall be able to expand and have more facilities on board. Because you see, the whole process is when you have these facilities on board, you have to establish a relationship with them. And each time you involve them in whatever activity, you have to support their facilitation. So also the map running online and all that is all resources. Yes, so we need more support in order to have. So the limitation is that it's only in Kawempe division, and we've had young people who are like, students from Chambogo, how come on our side, which facilities can we go to? So we've had those limitations, but hopefully with time, if there's another partner interested in the innovation, this could become an expanded platform to other places, especially places which have a university within the area. That would be very important.
Myths. I have had a few stories about failure to conceive in the future, and also shifted periods and things of that sort. I do not know if those are true, because I do not have that genitalia, but I would like to know from the yes, if that is true.
Okay, so we're looking at the side effects of the contraceptives. I mean, we're pushing.
With my experience, what I know, it can delay them. It can delay. That is why you don't want to give particular methods to people who are childless, who are having few. And during our health education talks in the morning, when we are teaching them about contraceptives, we tell them of those methods that you people without children, it is not very advisable for you to take this and this. But these are individuals that insist, and things have happened that way. And when they come back, we always emphasize, did we give you information? I refuse, because from there you refuse to giving her, she will go to a clinic where they need money, and she gets an injection. Then after, she will take a long time after marriage looking for the baby, and no baby is coming. Though the side effect will go, but it will take time. Imagine you're married in church and no baby, 1 to 3 years without a baby. But it goes slowly out of the body, and they eventually conceive. So it is a side effect, really.
What happens to me may not be what happens to you, Marion. If I'm on the implant, the way it treats me I shouldn't come and impose that on you and say, oh, you're going to be on the implant, you're going to gain so much weight. No, there are ladies who will use it and they will not gain the weight. There are those who will use the other and their periods will be unstable or not stable or totally disappear. So the contraceptive use, the side effects that happen are determined by one's body. Some other person will tell you, I've used contraceptives all my life and I'm good. Some other person will will stop the injection, in 2 months they conceive.
I think I'd be more comfortable when I'm going to campus, because that is when I'm more exposed to so many other things and I don't have any regulations on me. I'm literally myself against the world. I think that is the perfect time, although I think it depends on the community where the person is, because some girls would need to have that conversation as soon as they start their periods. That's what I think.
I think it's better if a girl is not yet into her periods or she hasn't started, such that she's aware. You know, you might go in before when you don't know and you're able to get pregnant. And yet if you're aware, you know once you go there, maybe you know where to run to and prevent yourself from getting pregnant.
What does the parent think?
Personally, as a parent, I started having these conversations with my girl at the age of 9. Unfortunately, she went in her periods at 9 years. So I would not risk another person engaging her into those conversations before me. I was the first person to notice and I had the chance to talk about it. I think it is okay to talk about things, but it doesn't mean I'm giving her a go ahead to go and have sex. Yes, that is what I think.
Okay.
So, I believe in giving people information and resources so that they choose where to go. Give a girl child information, provide everything they will choose where to go. So, give Cynthia information about contraceptives and reproductive health information. Then she will choose where to go. She will either choose to go there. Don't decide for them.
Okay, well, there is one last person, Edgar.
I think we would talk about these things as early as possible, because we need sex education in our curriculum, I guess. Because these guys get to know about these things even when they are little. They watch movies. It's a perverted generation, so they watch a lot of things. So it is better if parents sat down with their children as early as possible, even though it's 7 or 8. Just talk to this child. When they start to think and realize and know what they're talking about, so it's better you start talking to them at that age.
If you would like to access the Contraceptive Google Map for contraceptive availability and accessibility within Kawempe Division, these are the steps to follow. Go to your browser when connected to internet, type prb.org/Kawempe map. The map will appear with plus signs indicating 7 health facilities. Click on any of these plus signs to access information about contraceptive information from any of these facilities.
Well, we have come to the end of the Community League. This is a platform for us as young people to discuss the working solutions in our communities with fellow young people and different stakeholders affiliated with these solutions. Today, we've had the Contraceptive Google Map innovators who innovated an app, which is still a link actually online that you can use to get to access contraceptives in Kampala, Kawempe. We'll be coming to different communities for such conversations with you. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh, this conversation continues on social media. We want to hear what you have to say about the Contraceptive Google Map, about the use of contraceptives, accessibility, and when you want to talk about contraceptives. Until next time, bye-bye.